This is Fox 5 News at 6, Weekend Edition.
Tonight at 6, ominous clouds moving in overhead as we brace for the possibility of severe storms up and down the East Coast. Some of you already feeling the effects right now.
And all new tonight, could more have been done to stop the Boston bombings? Russian authorities believe so. What they're saying could have prevented the attack.
And weekend protests for Bradley Manning, the U.S. Army private whistleblower facing trial tomorrow for aiding the enemy.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Maureen Ume.
And I'm Laura Evans. We're going to begin with our potentially rough weather. Some of you, as I said, already seeing some thunderstorms out there. More may be moving in. Let's get right to Fox 5's Gwen Tolbert with the latest. So, Gwen, I understand some people could also see damaging winds, even some hail in addition to the thunderstorms.
Absolutely, Laura. These storms are coming into a very unstable air mass. We've got a lot of warm, humid air in place, and we've had a few clouds into the course of the day, so we kind of got a bit of a cap that kind of helped in terms of these storms not kind of breaking out and becoming even stronger into the course of earlier today. But let's take a look at radar and show you what's happening. This is our Fox 5 live Doppler radar, as you can see. And we've got some storms along the I-95 corridor as well as along the I-66 corridor right now. A lot of cloud to ground lightning in this and a lot of heavy downpours in some areas as well. And they're moving to the east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we have had so far a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Those have since ended, but I would not be surprised if we ended up getting a few more. You can see some of these storms now a little stronger over parts of Reston and as well to the south, just moving across the bay a little bit. But let's take a look at our weather maps to show you the big picture, because Laura's right, all up and down the East Coast is where we're seeing these storms already, some into parts of New England and to the south of our area. We are under a slight risk of seeing severe weather into the course of tonight, so definitely going to keep our eyes on this. Temperatures now still very much on the upside into the 80s and the 70s everywhere. Another factor with these are the winds, and currently we've got some pretty strong wind gusts, anywhere from 17 to 23 mile per hour wind gusts. Earlier we had some 43 mile per hour wind gusts at Winchester. So isolated showers and storms for tonight, 71 for your overnight low. I'll have more details a little bit later, and we'll let you know if we do get any more watches or warnings. Maureen?
All right, thank you, Gwen. A series of tornadoes struck the Oklahoma City area for the second time in 2 weeks, but the storms have not affected the resolve of its residents, as they've already begun to rebuild. Fox's Will Carr has more.
Oklahoma residents are again cleaning up after a series of deadly tornadoes. The damage occurring not only from the twisters, but flooding afterwards. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin says some help is on the ground and more is on the way.
We had already had our emergency operations centers up and running. We actually had them up and running before this storm hit. On Friday, we were prepared. We have over 6,000 people who have registered with FEMA for loss right now. And of course, that number will probably grow just because we've had these storms this weekend, and we've given out over $4 million in individual assistance to families that have lost their homes and need assistance right away.
3 of the dead are storm chasers the National Weather Service says were involved in tornado research. Tim Samaras, his son Paul, and Carl Young died Friday night when the EF3 tornado hit the El Reno area. The 3 traveled in search of bad weather, hoping to warn people ahead of tornadoes. El Reno Mayor Matt White says this tragic loss emphasizes the need to take any and all tornado reports seriously.
We can't stress enough, we need people to stay inside and do what the weather men and women tell us to do.
Governor Mary Fallin says while this area has been hit hard, she has no doubt that residents will pick up and move on.
I am still extremely proud of Oklahoma and the strength and the resiliency of the character of its people. The spirit of Oklahoma is still alive and well, and we'll recover and we'll get back on our feet.
Members of this community share that feeling. In fact, the owner of the restaurant that used to be standing where I am right now says he will rebuild. In El Reno, Will Carr, Fox News.
Developing tonight, a massive wildfire out west. Nearly 1,000 homes in 2 different communities have been evacuated north of Los Angeles. High winds making things very bad. More than 40 square miles of the Angeles National Forest is charred. Officials say at least 5 structures have burned to the ground and 10 more are damaged. Firefighters battled a fire at a home in Anne Arundel County this morning. Crews arrived at the home in the 1800 block of Estate Court in Severn. Neighbors called 911 after seeing smoke coming from that house. No word yet on what caused it.
Right now, we have no idea what caused the fire. The fire investigators are on the scene. They are actively engaging in trying to get access to the house to conduct their investigation.
No injuries reported, and there is no word on the extent of the damage. Officials say no one was inside the home when the fire broke out.
Also tonight in Maryland, a woman killed after being struck in the parking lot of a strip mall. It happened at the Cabin John Strip Mall in the 7900 block of Tuckerman Lane in Potomac. Police say the woman was taken to a local hospital but died from her injuries. We will continue to update the story as we get more information. Also, Maryland, 2 teenagers remain in the hospital after a car accident overnight. Police say the driver lost control of the vehicle, hitting a telephone pole before crashing into a tree on Society Hill Road in Leonardstown. Both the driver and the passenger were ejected from the vehicle. They were flown to Prince George's Shock Trauma Unit. There is no word on what may have caused the crash. And to Virginia now, where a 65-year-old man was injured after a hit-and-run accident in Vienna. Police say the man was struck by a car, throwing the victim from his bike on the Washington and Old Dominion Trail. The driver was later taken into custody and charged with driving while intoxicated and felony hit-and-run. Protesters rallied in support of WikiLeaks whistleblower Bradley Manning outside of Fort Meade's main gates in Maryland this weekend. Manning is set to go to trial tomorrow. The private first class is accused of giving classified U.S. government documents to the website WikiLeaks. He says he just wanted the public to know how the military was fighting in Iraq. Manning is facing life in prison.
New developments tonight in the marathon bombing in Boston. A Massachusetts congressman claims Russian intelligence officials believe the U.S. could have done more to prevent the attack. Fox's Molly Line has more.
After traveling to Russia and meeting with that country's top intelligence officials, a Massachusetts congressman returned home to reveal that Russian authorities believe the Boston Marathon bombing could have been prevented. Representative William Keating held a press conference at Boston's Logan Airport, revealing the Russian counterparts to U.S. intelligence believe that a closer tracking of the older suspect, the now deceased Tamerlan Tsarnaev, may have led to a different outcome, preventing the carnage of April 15th. The Russian Federal Security Service reached out to the FBI and the CIA to alert them about Tsarnaev in 2011, warning U.S. authorities he was preparing to join Islamic radicals in Dagestan.
I don't think anyone can say with absolute certainty, but I do. When I hear them say it, and I hear from our own people what a game changer this is in information sharing, that unfortunately I think that there might have been a different result, but no one can say that with certainty.
Keating sits on the House Homeland Security Committee and says Boston FBI officials have yet to participate in open hearings or classified briefings. But Russian authorities revealed to Keating that Ibrahim Tudashev, the 27-year-old friend of Tsarnaev's who was shot and killed by an FBI agent while under questioning in Florida last month, was mentioned in intelligence exchanges between the U.S. and Russia, along with other Russian nationals, nearly a week after the bombing. Keating says he met with Russian intelligence officials for over an hour and that they've offered a high level of cooperation and have thus far shared more specific information than their U.S. counterparts. In New York, Molly Line, Fox News.
And today, runners took their marks in Maryland to help raise money for the family of the attack victims. The race in Columbia was held in honor of Erica Brannick and Nicole Gross. The two sisters were waiting at the finish line to celebrate with Gross's husband at the time of the explosions. Gross suffered 2 broken legs, and Brannick lost a leg in the blast. All proceeds of the race will go to the Be Strong, Stay Strong Fund.
This has been a great outpouring of support and love. And let me tell you something, it's very much appreciated by the family, particularly the ones up in Boston. Erica, who's still there, recovering, so I know she's going to be thrilled to death by the turnout.
Gross has returned to her home in North Carolina and is recovering from her injuries. Brannick is expected to be released from the hospital tomorrow.
Coming up on Fox 5 News, the IRS scandal continues to grow as more questionable actions by the agency comes to light. Plus, a new warning tonight from an al-Qaeda leader to the American people about our safety.